Good morning. It's your man D Battle here checking in with you. Hoping we can get your week started off the right way. Today, we will be talking about going at your own pace. All right, we're going to jump right into it because I don't want to hold you guys too long. But if you saw last week's episode, I started to talk about going at your own pace. I actually had pressing matters that I had to handle, and I couldn't really dive into it like I wanted to, but I got a little time today, so let's get it. Going at your own pace to some means a lot, but bluntly put, I would just say tending to your own business, if that makes sense. So we all have things in life we're trying to do, goals we're trying to accomplish, um, success that we're trying to reach. If you get distracted by what someone else is doing in your field, it can slow up your process. Now I'm gonna get into two examples. One example, of course, is about myself, and the other example is about a pastor that I met a few weeks ago that visited our church. Now we're gonna go with the pastor first. While he was, giving his message, he had a place in there where he was talking about when he first became a preacher. So early on in his career, he went off. He was doing his thing. His father, I want to say, passed away, and he had to come back home to help his mom out and little sister. When he come back home, he's around the old neighborhood. He runs into a friend, and during their conversation, the friend says to him, he asks him, you're preaching now, right? So he tells the guy yes. Now he says, later on in the conversation, the guy says, well, preachers don't drive Chevys. Now at this time, he said he was driving a paid off Chevy. Didn't say what kind it was. It's just, it's a Chevy. So instantly, he thought about three other pastors in his city that were driving Cadillacs. What do you think he did? He went and traded in his paid off Chevy for a Cadillac that he said he couldn't even drive until the end of the month sometimes because he didn't have money for gas. He said he forgot that these guys have been pastors for 25 to 30 plus years. Basically, he was emulating their end success. That's not what you want to do. If you want to go at your own pace, or let's keep it with his example, if he wanted to stay at his own pace, then he would have kept his Chevy until it was right for him or until he can afford that Cadillac that he wanted. Sometimes it don't go that way. We start to the distractions. And the distraction it may not seem like a distraction, because usually if you're being distracted by it, you'll justify it too. And he saw what he wanted, and he went and got it, even though he couldn't afford it. He figured he probably was going to, do what he had to do to make those ends meet so that he can keep that car. But it ended up getting repossessed. Now, after he went back and he got it, excuse me, after he got it back right, he got what he got. What he has today, and a whole lot more, because he went and got back on track. So now we're gonna get into my moment of transparency. Instagram, social media in general, in today's society, is a huge distraction if you let it be. If you let it be one, it can really have you out here doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. So me, everybody know, or if you don't know, if it's your first time watching, I am a barber. And I've been a barber now. This November would make 10 years licensed. I, since being on Instagram, watch a few successful barbers in our industry. I'm not gonna give any names, but those that know me know who I watch. And they're real successful, and they have keys to success that they give. What I see going on with social media is a lot of people put up the success stories, and they'll tell you a little bit of their failures. Nobody will ever give you all of their failures. I don't believe so. Some things I do think people will keep behind the scenes because that's more motivation for them. I do that, I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. I'm transparent, but it is some things that I'm not going to share with you guys because I feel like those things motivate me. And not to say I don't want to motivate someone else, but I feel like I give enough, to motivate people. So while watching these guys, I, like the pastor, forgot that these guys have been in the industry for 20, 25, some even 30 plus years. And I didn't realize that they were only giving me the back end of their story on social media, because social media hasn't been that popular. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 10 years in. When I started out in 2008, 2009, Instagram wasn't even around. Facebook was just what is that? College kids was on Facebook, It wasn't no, to my knowledge, there wasn't any sponsored ads and all this stuff where a bunch of people could see your work. Now you have social media today, which is jumping. Put a picture up through the right hashtags, it's a bunch of people seeing your stuff. I forgot, and I tried to take shortcuts. Now, this is something that, through reflection, I realized I preached to you guys about this. There's no shortcuts to success. My Facebook profile picture, my personal Facebook profile picture says this. There's no shortcuts to success. I forgot all about it. But when I started reflecting on, what I was doing, I had stopped, I had stopped going at the pace that God had set for me. And I jumped out of his will and was trying to go a different route. And he had to humble me. You got to get it right. You got to get back on pace. Now, that's what I want to tell you guys. Don't look at, I posted this up the other day and I'll put it up in a minute. But I said, don't let my Instagram fool you. I've been making just enough look good for a long time. And in the caption, I basically said, not just me, but it's been God that's been making my just enough look good, because I got people outside of social media. I don't have a bunch of followers. I don't get a bunch of likes. I don't have people sharing my posts, but I got certain people that see me out and about and they think I'm just some millionaire, I guess, because of what I post. No, I got real life situations going on too. I got real bills. I got a wife. I got kids I'm trying to take care of, all this stuff. So I'm good. God has me in a position, yes, and things could be better, and things will get better, because I know once I get back on track and do what he has, the plan he has set for my life, it's going to be okay. Because And you're going to keep hearing me say, you know, when I was reflecting, because that's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you got to sit still, get by yourself. Like right now, I'm in my car. Most of the time, this is where I reflect because, you know how it is. You pull up to the house after work, after you go to the store or something. If you got a few minutes, take those few minutes and just let your mind wander sometimes. Just let it go off, because I'm telling you, things will start to reveal themselves. Excuse me, that you weren't thinking of because you too busy living life and you haven't sat still. So just sit still sometimes, because in stillness, it is a lot of stuff you will find out about yourself and about what you're trying to do. And so, but I sit in my car sometimes and I think back and I just be like, man, you know, so I've been in my suite 2 years. 5 years, I was at a barbershop here in Greensboro. The guy let me basically spread my wings, start my brand, become who I am today and who I'm trying to be through, just let me do me. And at that shop, when I was reflecting, I realized that when I was going at the pace God set for me, this is how my business was going. I was clicking. He had me on cylinders, doing numbers. You feel me? Taking care of everybody. Had money I could put up. I was taking care of the bills. I was making sure people were straight that needed stuff. And then all of a sudden, when I got to my suite and I started to try to emulate other people's end success, and I got out of the wheel of what God had set for me and what plan he had for my business, it was doing this. I started listening to other people. It got quiet a little bit. I jumped back in God's will one more time. It was clicking. Started listening to other people. Because what will happen is sometimes we'll think that some things are heaven sent, but it's really a trick of the enemy. The enemy can dress some things up to make it look beautiful. And if you don't take time and really focus on what you're looking at, you may think it's a blessing from God, but it's a trick of the enemy. And you gotta have discernment to figure out which is which. And I let my guard down and I let the enemy trick me. I'm not trying to preach to y'all, but I'm just telling y'all, listen, if I'm gonna be transparent, I'm gonna let you know this is what's going on. This right here has been going on for a little minute. And I had to, when I look myself in the mirror and I check myself, I said, you got to do something different, man. But this is what I want to tell you, man. With all that, I hope you really got what I want, what I wanted for you to get today. What I want you to do, get by yourself, be still, and just reflect. The goals you have set out for yourself, you got to find your pace and you'll get to your success. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Maybe you got to unfollow certain people. Maybe you got to get off social media, period. If this message was for you, and if you feel like it can help somebody else, I need you to share this thing. And I need you to let them know today is the day that you get back to the pace that God has set for you. As always, my resources are your resources. If you need anything, y'all know how to reach me, how to get in touch with me. If you on Facebook viewing this, shoot me an inbox, leave me a comment. Instagram, DM me, comment. We can live video chat on Zoom app. We can go live on anything, man. I don't care. You got my phone number, text me, call me. And if this is something that you need help with, man, listen, I got you. We got each other, hopefully. Like, let's help each other win. Let's help each other get back to the pace that God has set for our success, for our lives. As always, I love you guys. Have a wonderful Monday. It would have been a wonderful Monday, but I'm just going to tell you, have a wonderful week in general. Have an amazing day. Crush everything you do this week, all the goals you have set, knock them out the park, and I'll talk to y'all guys soon.